Hello, fight fans. Seattle Mike Fights with Friends. It is a new year, 2025, and we're here to decide who will be the champions at the end of the year. Today, we're going to do the Bantamweight division. If you want to see our other videos of this, yesterday we did the flyweights, and you can find that in a playlist on the Fights with Friends channel. Let's start by looking at the rankings. Of course, the champion, Merab Dvalishvili. Sean O'Malley, the #1 contender, just lost to Dvalishvili. Umar Nurmagomedov, #2. He has a bout scheduled against Merab. Petr Yan coming off of an impressive win against Deiveson Figueredo. Of course, also a former champion, Cory Sandhagen, once thought by many to be the future of this division. He's kind of fallen down a few steps, but he's still a very tough out for anybody, competitor in any fight, and he's always ready to go, especially on last-minute notice. So don't count Cory out. The guy that I will count out to start on this is Deiveson Figueredo. He is not really in the running for me to be champion in 2025. Real quick, let's look at his last 5 as we're disrespectfully eliminating him. Of course, lost to Brandon Moreno in his last flyweight bout. Those guys fought 10 times against each other. Then he has a good 3-fight win streak. Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, Marlon Vera. Okay, a second division. Good on you. And then that last fight with Petr Yan, he just couldn't really do anything. Petr Yan outstruck him. He out-wrestled him. He beat him in the clinch. He beat him everywhere. He won every single minute of that fight. For those reasons, Deiveson Figueredo, you are eliminated from consideration for 2025 champion. Speaking of Cory Sandhagen, let's go to him. Also a 3-fight win streak. In the middle of losses, a loss sandwich here. Yadong Song, Marlon Vera, and Rob Font all in a row. Lost to Petr Yan 4 fights back, and then in his last fight lost to Umar Nurmagomedov. So he's got losses to 2 of the top 5 guys. The Umar fight was not competitive. The Yan fight was not competitive. I like Cory. Like I said, you never know. Somebody steps out last moment and he possibly jumps in. He can beat anybody on any given night, but I just don't think he will. I just don't think he's as good as Umar. I don't think he's as good as Merab. I don't think, he's as good as Yan. So for that reason, Cory Sandhagen, I just really don't see becoming champion in 2025. Let's go to the champion of 2024. The year started out with Sugar Sean O'Malley as the champion. And on a 3-fight win streak as well after a no contest against Pedro Munoz, Petr Yan, Aljamain Sterling, and Marlon Vera. 3 in a row, but then his last fight loses to Merab Dvalishvili. O'Malley's very good. He's got a lot of power. His grappling is getting better by leaps and bounds. He actually did a lot better against the takedown than I thought he would against Merab. He just wasn't quite there, though. He's going to keep on working on that. I think that grappling is just going to keep on getting better for him. He's tremendously talented, but this is almost like a whole new sport that he has to learn now, being able to, compete at a grappling of this level. And for that reason, I don't think Sean O'Malley will become champion in 2025. We're going to go to another former champion here in Petr Yan, and, this is kind of a backwards trajectory. He's won 2 in a row. He'd lost 3 in a row before that. Of course, lost the belt to Aljamain Sterling. Then he loses a split decision to Sean O'Malley, loses to Merab Dvalishvili. The difference here, the O'Malley fight very close, the Sterling fight very competitive. Good victory over Yadong Song, but nothing put him back in the title conversation like that dominant win against Deiveson Figueredo. He looked 5 years younger than Figueredo. He was 3 steps ahead of him. Like every time that he threw a shot, he knew where Figueredo was going to be before Figueredo knew where he wanted to go. Like the game planning was amazing. The timing was amazing. Best performance of his career by far, in my opinion. And Petr Yan, if he gets another shot at Merab or even gets a shot at Umar Nurmagomedov, I think he can be competitive against anyone. And he's fought so many good guys. I think we forget how young he still is. He's only 31 years old. Petr Yan, I'm going to rank him number 3 in my possibilities to become champion in 2025. And now let's come to number 2. And this is going to be a spoiler because he's the champ. 5-fight win streak. You see, he's won the last 5. He's actually won his last 11 fights. His cardio is absolutely insane. Nobody is really testing this guy right now. Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan, Jose Aldo, Marlon Moraes. What a top 5 that he has beaten. And like I said, guys really have not been competitive with him recently. His wrestling is just on another level. His cardio is top notch. The guy never gets tired. And for that reason, I think there's a very good chance that he is still champion at the end of 2025. But he is going to have to get past a guy that I think is just going to be stylistically a nightmare matchup for him in Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar's a better striker. I think he's going to string together his wrestling better. It's just a horrible matchup for Merab. And this is a guy that maybe could reign for a while. I'm certainly not counting Merab out of this, but Nurmagomedov is over a 2-1 favorite. I somewhat agree with that. You see 5-fight win streak here for Nurmagomedov. His toughest fight against Cory Sandhagen was really never in trouble in that fight. Very dominant performance, and he's just a complete fighter. And he might be one of those, decade legacy talents. He's just that good. In the past, I've said the Bantamweight division is the most stacked division in the UFC. I don't know if that's still true, but I don't think it's the most competitive division in the UFC anymore. Just for the fact that I think the top 2 guys beat everybody else pretty much every night of the week. Who will win between Umar and Merab? I mean, that fight is almost a coin flip, but here's what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't pick either one of those guys on the Bantamweight futures, because let's just bring up those Bantamweight futures again real quick. And you guys have to be really careful with these. There's a lot of suckers bets in these things. Umar Nurmagomedov, -120 to be champion at the end. If you like Umar Nurmagomedov, just bet on Umar Nurmagomedov. If you bet for him to win every fight, you're going to do a lot better than -120. So, bet on him against Merab. Bet on him in his next fight. He might fight 3 times this year. I don't know if you're really that confident in him. Maybe you bet the -120 that he's still going to be champion too. Merab at +130. somewhat agree with that. Yan at plus 650. If I was going to bet on anybody in this for the futures, which I am not, I just really don't like the odds here for these. But if I was going to pick somebody, I like Yan at plus 650. I can see him getting into a title elimination match after that dominant performance against Deiveson Figueredo. Maybe he fights Sean O'Malley again. If he does, I think he can beat him. That was a close split decision. I think Yan could definitely win the rematch. But I think he stacks up a lot better against both of those guys than Sean O'Malley does. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think will be champion in 2025? Where are your rankings at? Did you make a top 5 most likely UFC champions for the Bantamweight division for 2025? Let me know down there in the comments. As always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses next time.